Hey and welcome, Miss Kira Speaks. Please do your girl a huge favor and stick around to the end of the video. Hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on. We're here for another episode of BMF. It is season 2, episode 6, titled Homecoming. You know we gotta start off with our quote from Terry. Listen, BMF is gonna slow burn us every doggone episode. We're gonna start off slow. We're gonna heat up at the end and leave us with the cliffhanger, but let's get right into it. So Terry and Meech are back in Detroit and they are looking for Lamar, but they can't find him. We see Lamar at his cousin's house and his cousin is letting him know they are back in town and they are ready for war. And Lamar, you know, he doesn't care. Terry and Meech, they're over at the record store, you know, talking things over, and they were supposed to have security on their parents' house, which I thought that they wanted it, but then Charles was like he didn't want it, so maybe they didn't do it. But it turns out they did, and they're not happy about what happened. So Roland says that the crew is splintered. Lamar's got his foot on the hood's neck. Dink is doing his own thing, and B. Mickey is also MIA, but they're saying that he's got a new plug and that he's holding strong. So they're telling Hoop and Saki about this game changer that they got. But Saki, he's got to go drop his son off at practice. And I knew the minute he walked outside and decided to take a leak, I said, sir, why you can go to the bathroom when he's inside the record store? Or wait till you pick up your son. And lo and behold, here comes Lamar, talking ish. Saki goes to grab his thing, but it's too late. Lamar lets one off. And Saki, he's still talking his shit, he don't care. And Lamar lets off another one and he's gone. Lamar dips off, you know, the crew runs up and finds him. But of course, like I said, no Lamar. So, like I said, they can't find Lamar, but for sure, Lamar can always find them. So Detective Bryant and Jen shows up and Bryant is just talking shit and he has no interest in doing his job, and I don't know why he let Lamar go in the first place, and that's been bothering me since that episode aired. Jen, she's later going to call Detective Bryant out when she sees him arguing with somebody else, and he finally confesses that he was trying to get some bricks to set up Meech again. And don't ask me what Lamar was doing. I don't know if he was going to burn the clothes he's on, but he finds himself kind of in the woods and he finds a damn crazy ass dog. And he says he's going to call the dog Blackie because the dog is black and beautiful, just like him. But first, he got to fight with the racist owner over the doggone dog. And while I'm sick of Lamar, I wasn't mad at him for this one. So he finishes dude off with a little Mike Tyson little nibble to the ear, and I said, BMF, y'all are really playing when it comes to Lamar. Like, y'all got this dude doing everything. Then later on, he's gonna get an attitude with his cousin because he done gave a hungry man dinner to himself and the dog, and his cousin is pissed off and he wants the dog out. And he threatens if he don't apologize that he's gonna whoop his cousin's ass. And I said, it's the audacity for me when it comes to Lamar, because your cousin has been the only one that's been holding you down. We're going to get most of this Lamar stuff out of the way, okay? So later on, he pays a visit to Mo. She's coming out of like exercise class. And he's like showing her the dog. He's trying to show her a changed man. And at first she's like, oh, but the dog starts going crazy. She's like, the dog is a monster. So he starts talking about, like how he was treated and how Lamar himself was in foster care and they moved him around a lot to keep him from developing attachments. Like they really trying to give us a sob story and get us warmed up to Lamar. Like he ain't just kill somebody, he gonna kill people later on in the episode, but whatever, BMF. So he says he's gonna get Blackie on his feet and he's gonna teach this old dog some new tricks. So Meech is talking to Terry about wanting to bring the PAs in to help with the whole Lamar situation. He's going to make his play at Soul Night, and later he does just that. He pulls up in the whip. He's got his Ferrari on and his big blinged out BMF chain. And when he goes in, everybody is looking their finest. They got their furs and everything on. It's hot. It's real fly up in there. So we see him, he chops it up with Jalen Rose and he's got all this cash and he's buying. And then the PAs kind of come around and he's buying for them too. And they're paying him dust. But somebody gets into beef with the PAs and they start to scrapping. And Meech, he walks in and starts to, he jumps in and starts to scrapping with him and stomping dudes out. They get thrown out the club. But This helps him make that connection with the PAs. So he got that meeting, and we later find out that they agreed to help with the Lamar thing and moving that bag. We see B. Mickey, and he's having a dream or a nightmare about Kato when Meech comes to visit. And, you know, Meech is talking to him. He's like, dude, you okay? Is it Kato? And he's calling her a hood rat or whatever he was calling her. And he was like, that was my baby's mama. And Meech is like, oh, my bad. Apologies, my dude. So he tells him that, you know, he locked in with Ty Washington and ATL and that the drought is over. And B. Mickey's got an attitude like, is it just me and you, or it's me, you, and your brother? Because this has always been B. Mickey's problem. It's like, as per usual, and he's talking about how he tried to hide, you know, how you, my lip's not working. He's talking about how he tried to hold things down and that he had no contact from Meech. And while I got what he was saying, like, B. Mickey has really been on one, because he really has not been stepping up to be that number 2. So the minute you decide to step up when they weren't there, which we really don't know if you did or you didn't, it was kind of weird. So when Meech leaves, you know, he goes to dap him up and he don't dap Meech up. And I said, see, that's that bullshit. So Wanda comes in and Terry's sleeping, and when he wakes up, you know, she expresses that she's tight, that he's back in the game. But oh no, he's not getting away that easy, because he's like, you know, I can understand, you know, if you don't want to be with me. And Wanda was basically like, baby, I ain't never leaving your side again, because Wanda was down for it before. The only reason she really left is because Lucille put her up to it. Like I said, Terry tried to get out of the thing because, you know, he wants to run off with Markeisha, but she was not letting him off that easy. And she even wants to take some family photos. So a little bit later on, we see him cutting Charles's hair when there's a knock at the door. And Lucille goes to take her ass to the door. And I said, Lucille, you ain't get enough from the last episode when Lamar, the devil himself, rolled up on you. You just opening doors. But it's Terry's teacher, and he's there to help him get back on track because Terry's behind. And I'm like, that's the type of teachers we need. Unlike that daggone principal that Kevin had over at the school. And the whole situation was weird because, like, you know what? We ain't gonna get into it. So basically, Terry says, thanks, but no thanks. And Lucille is all upset. And Terry's like, listen, it's no guarantees for success. And Charles wanted more for him because he didn't have his education. And I mean, honestly, everybody should at least basically have a high school diploma. But Terry doesn't care nothing about that. And he's been saying that basically he's been thinking about it for a long time. And that he's not, you know, he's not going to change his mind. So the teacher is rolling out. And he's like, okay, if you change your mind, let me know, I'm here. So Lucille's like, so you're just going to follow in your brother's footsteps? We're businessmen, Ma, and we're running a corporation that's going to be legit one day. Really? Is it? I don't know about all that. So Lucille's and Charles, they're trying to talk sense into him. He's like, listen, I tried. It's not for me. It's not moving fast enough. And Lucille's like, basically, we don't want you to have any regrets, and we're trying to help. And this fool going to say, I can't even remember how he phrased it about him and me. She was like, well, then just wish us luck. At least you can wish me luck. I was like, really? That was a little corny, BMF, but okay. So later on, Lucille is upset. She's sitting there. She listens to gospel music. You know, she tried her very best. And Charles is like, listen, we're going to get through this together like we always do. But for now, go ahead and put on your best dress and let's head on out to eat. And she's a little reluctant. He's like, listen, well, I'm going to shine my shoes and put on my glad rags. And we're going to get out in these streets. And she was like, okay, now that you put it that way. And okay, Charles. So Meech, he goes and drops some money off to Mo, and he's asking her if she's seen Lamar. And she's like, Lamar is all effed up. And he's telling her about his plans, you know, to end him. So Mo's like, listen, Lamar is born and bred on that street shit. She's telling him, if you're going to get a street nigga, you can't use street logic. You have to come at him with an angle that he's not going to expect. Come on, Mo, with them gems. So Nicole, she's got herself a job sweeping up at a beauty shop. And here comes Meech's behind to ruin the whole thing. He meets with the owner and he gives her an opportunity. And I just said, poor Nicole. And Nicole, she confronts the owner later, totally disgusted. And I think she quit. And I was like, dang, Meech, you know, most of the time he seems to care. But at this point, like this move, you ain't really care about your sister's safety. So Jen and Brian, I don't know where they are, but they're in the car and they see somebody run a stop sign in the rain. And it's Terry. And so they follow him and he is picking up Markeisha and her boys. And she's like, oh, this is your driver, Terry. Boom, put her and them kids out in the rain. Like I said, and they playing I Saw You and Him Walking in the Rain. BMF be really hitting us with the music. So she asked to go to his place to get out of the wet clothes. He's like, yeah, no, but we can go on over to a hotel. So when they get to the hotel, she's telling him how Boom accused her of, spending his money. And they're just talking and chopping up. And he leaves. And then when he comes back with some food. I think it was like, a big old Little Caesars pizza and a Sega Genesis. I said, okay, Terry just over there playing daddy, somebody else's kids. So ma'am is grateful and she locks the door and they about to get it on, okay? And sir, he's about to go downtown. And I said, wow, just last season, you couldn't do the same for Wanda talking about against your religion, but you just so stuck on Lala. Okay, Terry. Meanwhile, Jen and Bryant, they're watching from another room with their little binoculars or cameras and whatnot, and they're laughing. And she's talking about how it's been a while, and Bryant's like, well, if you ever need me to handle that. And I'm just like, ew. What makes you think you can handle it? And he's like, the fun is in trying to find out. And I say, the look on her face, do y'all think that Jen gave Bryant some? Get down in the comments and let me know. So after Terry and Lala get finished, Markeisha, the kids go to bed and she's asking him if he has somebody staying with him. And I was like, ma'am, now I know he's a dealer, but did you forget he's 16? Like, he still live with his mama, but okay, girl. And this fool gonna answer, my ex. Your ex? Does Wanda know she's an ex and his son? And I just was like, come on, Terry. So after they talk it out, she basically sends him on his way. So moving over, the crew's hanging outside and Dink rolls up and he wants his money back for that bogus ass birds he got. He said that Hoop gave him the work and the buzz was slow and the high was low. So when he's asking for his money back, Terry's like, get the F out of my face. And these two start to scrapping. And I thought he was going to get the better of Terry. But Meech got his back. So he jumped in and they just beat and stomped the mess out of homeboy. And Hoop, he was standing on the side looking a little suspect. Now, earlier, I didn't mention it. There was a guy that was trying to get Hoop's attention. And he was like, now is not a good time. And when he approached him with this situation, Hoop didn't say anything, but he looked real funny. And I just want y'all to know, I just want y'all to tell me if y'all think Hoop is messing with the product. So after his nice dinner he done had with his wife, talking about, the headache going away and the headache getting out and him getting in and all this bullshit, he takes his dumb ass over. Did I say Charles? He takes his dumb ass over to see Mabel. And he's like, I can't do this anymore. I want to work on my marriage. And she's like, we should do whatever you want to do. And he turns away. She's like, you can't even look at me and say goodbye. And she got a robe on and she opens her robe and she's naked. She walks up to him and puts them tiggo bitties and tetes on his back. And that's all he needed to hear, okay? The two of them, they get to going and a humping and a pumping and they did not even make it to the bedroom. They just right there on the couch. And I said, Charles is going to F around and get Mabel pregnant. I was so disappointed in Charles. And I said, this whole thing is not about to end up well. So when Terry takes his butt back to the hotel, Lala and them boys are going and she done left him a Dear John, aka a Dear Terry letter saying that she's grateful, but she needs to be financially secure. Child, but meanwhile on the next episode, she is calling Terry and asking him for help. Now, after he reads the letter, we see Jen talking to Bryant about using him stepping out on Wanda. So at first I was thinking maybe that call in the next episode was a setup, but then I was like, nah, maybe she did something to Boom like what happened in real life. And speaking of real life, the real life Markeisha is not feeling how they portrayed her in this series. Detective Bryant, he told Jen that he had to go see Kevin, but he was really going to see Meech, and she rolled up on that ass later at B. Mickey. And B. Mickey, he wanted to back out, but Brian's like, nah, I'm not going to be able to do it. So as Jen's there, you know, B Mickey's basically like, y'all can't keep rolling up on the nigga and, you know, coming up to my spot. And she gives him a card and talking about she just want to make him feel comfortable. But anyway, baby, Meech goes to see K9 and he's ready to do business. And K9 is telling him that the re-up, you know, it won't be long, but it's going to take a minute. So his boy was trying to have a word with K9. And when K9 steps away, Meech hollers at homeboy, only to find out that K9 owes the Colombian Connect 20 mil. Damn. And he refuses to pay. I said, K9, he don't want to live life. And I was wondering why he wasn't mad and stressing Meech about that money the cousin skimmed off the top. And sidebar, where is Peaches? But anyway, K9, he's got a doggone death wish. And I'm sitting here like, you was busy giving Meech all of these gems. Meanwhile, you wasn't paying your own bills. Like, make it make sense. And I really hate what they did to K9. Like, I was hoping for more with this character. I really wanted him to be like the next Lamar. I wanted us to get rid of Lamar's stinking ass. Although we loved him in season 1, he can go. He definitely needs to kick rocks. And that K9 would step up to the plate. But they just playing K9 for a sucker. So Meech and Terry's talking, and Terry is not with Meech going to the Colombians, and he asked him about B Mickey, and that kind of shocked me a little bit, I must say. And Terry, he's distracted, and I understand not wanting to go behind K9's back, but since when do we trust B Mickey, Terry? Come on. So he goes to meet with Wanda. He's got a dip. He goes to meet with Wanda to take these family photos, and he can't find his belt. Now, this I also didn't mention. We saw at the beginning of the episode when Wanda was creeping around in the bedroom that she took his belt. She don't say nothing about it. And then he starts gaslighting her and talking to her about being cordial. And she's like, I want you to take the picture because you want to, because you're proud of your family. But we'll get back to that in a minute. Right now, let's talk about this PA's unsuccessful attempt on Lamar. So they roll up on Lamar, but he's got Blackie. So Lamar's chilling in the cut. He takes one out. Blackie's barking. He hits the other one in like the ankle. He's down on the ground. Lamar's down on the ground and takes him out. And then he's like, did Meech send you? And he takes him out, and that's that. And I was saying to myself, I don't think that that's what Mo meant when she said to Meech that, he needed to find another way. Like, this is you have somebody else doing it instead of you, but you still meeting a hood nigga with hood nigga shit. So, like I said, I don't think that's what she meant. But anyway, back to old Terry and Wanda. So they come from the photo shoot, and I guess they're at Wanda's mom's house. And when he leaves, Wanda's mom is like trouble in paradise. And, they're talking about Terry's funky mood. And the mom is like, Terry's always in a funky mood. And she's basically like, mama didn't raise no fool. And Wanda, she acts like she don't know, but I think Wanda knows what it is, but she just don't want it to be that. So, Mama's like, you know what you got to do. So we see Wanda go in the room, and Wanda comes out with a doggone bag. She's talking about, I got his brush, his socks, his belt, his jacket, and his chain. Say what now, Wanda? So they about to do voodoo on Terry? Yikes. So we rounds it up to the end, y'all. B Mickey, he comes into the record store, and he's got this doggone cap on. He's like, what you got a cap on for? He's like, you don't wear no hats. He's like, I always wear a hat. B Mickey, no you don't. That's why he says something. But okay. And we should have known. So he's got the little sample of the product. And Meech, hits him with, he's got some burial plots for Kato and his mom. He can get one for him if he wants. So they can always be together. He's like, it's kind of morbid, but okay. And he just wants to basically let him know that he appreciates him. He appreciates them. They're expanding. And he's like, so you're going to be a king on your own territory. And, he gives him a hug. And you can see in B Mickey's face, child, B Mickey starts to tear it up. And I said, Meech always knows how to step up with the right thing and the right words at the right time. He hits B Mickey right in those feels. And they start talking about the past. And B Mickey takes off the cap. Child. He takes off the hat and exposes to Meech the wire and points like they're outside. And Meech is looking at him like, what the? So he takes the product and he skedaddles. And B Mickey, he skedaddles right behind him. So Jen and Bryant, they know something's wrong. They go in, they see that they're missing, so they're about to give chase. And I said, Beckwith is going to be on y'all ass because y'all been fucking up all season long. The boss is going to get y'all. So B Mickey's telling him, he's like, I didn't have a choice. And Meech is like, you always have a choice. So the two of them run and they get away. And, you know, Brian and Jen get there and they're like, they're gone and they got the, you know, the product. And Brian's like, fuck. Because like I said, the boss is about to be on their ass. So B Mickey goes over to say goodbye to his mom. And then we get to his car. He busy trying to light up this blunt. Light. He can't get it started. And somebody puts a bag over his head and snatches him up, and we hear him struggle, and that is where we end. What did y'all think of the episode? Now, who do you think snatched little B Mickey's stinking ass up? I don't think that is Lamar's style, because Lamar's going to take you out, but Bryant did know where the mom was, and you know he's pissed, because this is the second time. So it could be Bryant, or based upon Terry's narration, it could be like Meech followed him or had somebody follow him and snatched him up. Who knows? We are over halfway through the season, y'all. Please put your thoughts and theories down in the comments and come back here and join me for episode 7. Peace.